everybody. So what we're looking at today is 2-1 mental math. Mental math. So how can you use mental math to add and subtract? Properties of addition can help you find the total cost of $11.45, $3.39, and $9.95. So we have what's known as the commutative property, which is where you can add two decimals in any order. So you don't have to take, so we see that list up there, we don't necessarily have to take $11.45 and add it to $3.39. We could take and add the $9.95 and the $11.45 together instead. That's what commutative means. Associative means that you can change the grouping of add-ins. So I guess associative property is more what we're looking at there with the 3. Commutative property just means we could take $11.45 and add it to $3.39, or vice versa. So we can flip it around how we write it. So addition and is commutative. It's also associative. Subtraction is not. We cannot subtract in any order. The commutative and associative properties makes it easy to add $11.45 plus $3.39 plus $9.95. $11.45 and $9.95 are compatible numbers. These are numbers that are easy to compute mentally. So if we look at this, we have $11.45, $9.95. 5 plus 5 is going to give us 0 because it's going to give us 10. So we carry the 1. That makes this 9 into a 10 plus 4 is 14. So we carry another 1. So now we have 10 plus 1 is 11. So we carry another 1. So we end up with 21.40 for that. And then we can take and go back and add the $3.39, where we'd get 9, 7, 4, 2. So it makes it a little easier because these numbers in the original problem, they're easy to add together because we kept getting 10 because we carried over, and so it worked out pretty nicely for us. We also have what's known as compensation. So we can use compensation to add or subtract. With compensation, adjust the numbers to make the computation easier, then compensate to get the final answer. So we can adjust these numbers to make them a little easier. So like on this one here, $4 are 4 and 25 hundredths minus 3 and 8 hundredths. That's not going to be the easiest, but if we changed it to 4 and 25 hundredths minus 3 and 10 hundredths, that's a lot easier. 25 minus 10 is 15, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So 1 and 15 hundredths. But we altered a little bit. We subtracted by more than what the original value was. So we increased this by 2 hundredths. So that means we need to increase this by 2 hundredths in the end as well. So we have to take and be really, really careful about how we take and do this. So it's going to be 1 and 1.7 because we have to add the 0.02 from our compensation to it. So compensation can sometimes end up with more work because you have to take and go back and find what the actual should be based on adjusting your answer. But it can make it easier in the long run. It's just you don't want to change your answers too much. All right, for the next one, use compensation to add. So we have $3.47 plus $4.35. So we can take and we can compensate up or down. So we could add 3 hundredths to this to make it $3.50, or we could take away 2 hundredths and make it $3.45. Either one would work. I'm going to take it away. So subtract 2 hundredths. So instead we have $3.45 minus $4 or plus, $4.35. So 5 and 5 is 10. So we carry the 1, 5. So that made the 4 into a 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. Put our decimal. And then 3 plus 4 is 7. Now, I took away 2 hundredths when I initially started this. So that means what I need to do now is add 2 hundredths onto this. So it's going to be $7.82. So you have to be careful. Obviously, in the first one, we were subtracting and I added 2 hundredths to it. But for the final answer, I also added 2 hundredths to it. Whereas in this one, I subtracted 2 hundredths initially, but then I ended up adding them back afterwards. So adding and subtracting, it'll alter your answer, which you're going to take and do to your final. With adding, it's going to be the opposite signs, okay? So use mental math to add or subtract. So if we look at this, we have 2 1/10 plus 9/10 plus 1 2/10. If we combine these first two, 2.1 plus 0.9, that 9 and the 1 combined together, we get 0, carry the 1. So then we have 3 plus 1 2/10. So we have 4 2/10. The next one, we have 3 5/10 plus 4 6/10 plus 4/10. The two compatible numbers are these two right here. The 6 and the 4 add to make 10. Then we carry the 1, so we end up with 5. So we have to add 3.5 to 5. So we end up with 8.5. All right, so those two were nice and easy using mental math. The next two, are they quite as easy? Nope. So here's where we want to use compensation. So if we can change this first one to 2. So we have 2 plus 3 4/10, which will give us 5 4/10. But I went up by 1/10. So we are going to take and subtract 1/10 from this to get 5.3. 5.3 for an answer there. So remember, when you compensate, you have to take and go back the value or go up the value. You have to adjust your final answer to take into effect the compensation. And then this last one here, we have 4.7 minus 1.9. Once again, I'm going to change my 1.9. I'm going to take it up to 2. So we have 4.7 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2, so we end up with 2.7. But I went up a value, so I ended up subtracting more than what the original problem had me subtract. So I need to add 1/10 to this, so we end up with 2.8. So once again, got to be careful with the adding. If you add a value on in the original, it's going to subtract to get your final answer. In subtraction, if you add a value on, you're going to end up adding it on in the end as well. So keep that in mind. All right, your keyword for this lesson is mental. Mental is your keyword for this lesson since we are using mental math. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a great day, you guys.